You have President Obama sounding off on this. So it's very easy to be Barack Obama because you are never blamed for any of your own mistakes. It's pretty incredible. And Barack Obama's administration was chock full of corruption from Eric Holder and Loretta Lynch, Kathleen Sebelius at HHS, the IRS. There are a bunch of scandals during the Obama administration. He was treated with kid gloves the entire time because as America's first African-American president and as a historic president, President Obama was just treated with absolute lavish love by the media at all times. Well, this means that his perception of his own presidency is wildly skewed. He suggests that the response by the federal administration here has been an absolute chaotic disaster, as though he would have handled it any better. Again, I've yet to hear the Democratic policies recommended in February that would have done anything to stem what has happened here. And Barack Obama might have a harsher view of states that are reopening, but there's no evidence to suggest that that is a better view than the states that are actually doing the reopening. Barack Obama did a conference call with his Obama supporters in advance of 2020. Here's what he had to say.
It has been an absolute chaotic disaster when that mindset of what's in it for me and to heck with everybody else, when that mindset is operationalized in our government.
Yeah, what to heck with everybody else? What is he talking about? Who has that mindset? That straw manning of people who just disagree with his policy predilections? The straw manning of, well, you don't care about other people, obviously, right? All you do is it's just every man for himself. Dog eat dog. Nobody's talking about that. What the hell are you saying? What are you saying? Again, it's amazing to me. Jared Polis in Colorado is pursuing the same policies as Brian Kemp in Georgia, and nobody talks about Jared Polis or Tim Walz in Minnesota or the governor of Maine or the governor of Montana, Steve Bullock, who never shut down in the first place. But according to Barack Obama, this is completely about the chaotic disaster and the dog-eat-dog mentality. That sort of high-handed garbage coming from Obama is nothing new. By the way, he didn't stop his criticism there. He also suggested, and this was even more ridiculous, he suggested that the release of Michael Flynn, the refusal to prosecute Michael Flynn, is all about politics inside the administration. As opposed to, when Eric Holder was calling himself Barack Obama's wingman and Loretta Lynch was meeting on the tarmac with Bill Clinton while Hillary was under investigation. That wasn't political at all. No politicization from the Barack Obama DOJ, as Barack Obama knew personally about the Michael Flynn phone calls and was directly asking people in the chain of command below him who should have known, like Sally Yates, about Michael Flynn in White House Oval Office meetings. No corruption at all. No corruption at all when the Barack Obama FBI and Barack Obama DOJ were working together with the tacit assumption that the Trump campaign was colluding with Russia. And then they're willing to bend virtually every rule in order to pursue that line of attack. Here's Barack Obama attacking the Trump administration for supposed corruption on Michael Flynn.
There is no precedent that anybody can find for someone who's been charged with perjury. Just getting off scot-free. That's the kind of stuff where you begin to get worried that basic, not just institutional norms, but our basic understanding of law is at risk.
Okay, I'm sorry. He was a joke when he was president. He was constantly in high-handed language doing exactly the same sort of tribalizing activity with regard to American politics he accuses others of. By the way, there is actually very good precedent for prosecutions being dropped against people because of corruption inside the prosecution and at the high levels of politics. You know what there's no precedent for? Trying to prosecute a national security advisor on the basis that he had a conversation with the ambassador from Russia. That is not threatening that person with the Logan Act. That is insane. It's insane. Okay, and then not turning over exculpatory evidence. There's good evidence, by the way, of charges being dropped for lack of the prosecution doing what it was supposed to do. Perfect example. Same judge, in this case, in the Flynn case, Judge Sullivan of the U.S. District Court for the District of Columbia. Back in 2009, he killed the prosecution of Senator Ted Stevens of Alaska, who was convicted of violating federal ethics laws. It turns out a team of prosecutors from the DOJ did not hand over key exculpatory evidence and knowingly presented false evidence to the jury, so they killed the prosecution of Ted Stevens as well. So actually, there is a fairly solid precedent for this. The Wall Street Journal points out Even discounting Obama's partisan audience, this gets the case willfully wrong. Flynn was never charged with perjury, lying under oath in a legal proceeding. Flynn pled guilty to a single count of lying to the FBI in a meeting at the White House that he was led to believe was a friendly chat among colleagues. As for scot-free, that better applies to former President Bill Clinton, who lied under oath in a civil case and was impeached for perjury, but then was acquitted by the Senate. We understand why Obama wouldn't bring that up. Also, the fact is that Obama was in the loop on this stuff. I mean, from what we understand, Barack Obama was in the loop on what his team was doing. And then he is talking about corruption inside the Trump DOJ for killing a prosecution that was obviously malicious in intent. Pretty wild stuff from Barack Obama. But it's got to be easy. When you've spent your entire political career being immune to slings and arrows, it's pretty easy to throw stones, is it not? Facts don't care about your feelings, and it's a fact that The Ben Shapiro Show is the largest conservative podcast in the nation. Be sure to hit the subscribe button to stay up to date on all of our content.